Right outside from Idle Hands Bar, where we are at the Pale Horse Named Death listening party. I'm here with Sal Abruscato. You guys might know him from some bands called Type O Negative, Life of Agony. But as I said before, we're here today because you are about to debut your own solo album. And man, I am so impressed with it. And I know everybody out there who has heard it are like, wow. And tell us a little bit about the whole concept of what inspired you to do this.
It started January of 2009. I, was watching a TV program about Revelations, and they were talking about how Death rode a pale horse, and I was just laying there, and I jumbled the words up in my head and came up with a pale horse named Death. And at that time, I was musically frustrated. I felt like I needed to find a way to take control of the direction of my career and reinvent myself. And I was getting a little tired of the whole collaborative efforts and previous experiences in bands that I've been in. And I felt like, well, look, I've got all these ideas. I've got all this music. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to put it together, and we'll see what happens. That was my attitude. It wasn't like it was planned to be, oh, this is going to be the big thing or contrived. It was just, I'm going to play the music that I feel in my heart, that I hear in my head, and that I write about, and just do it, and we'll see what happens. And unbelievably, people have been very receptive and very cool about it. So I'm really happy, and I feel honored every time I do an interview, and people want to know about this record and this whole concept that I created, and I'm really proud of it. And it's kind of like been just slowly, it's been building and building and building and building, and I'm with folks like yourself. No, I'm with folks like yourself, just talking and wanting to know about the record. So I'm extremely happy.
Right. And obviously, the whole question that everybody has out there, you're already, because I know you have created enough buzz, so people are saying, oh, when are they going to come play in front of us? So how are the plans for that going right now?
Well, the plans are we're going to Europe in August. We're doing a festival tour and some one-off shows in Germany and Holland. I know there's discussions about U.S. tour. And we did a couple of shows in New Jersey. We played with Monster Magnet at Starland Ballroom. And we're just taking it step by step, I know, we're planning right now. We're going on tour in August. And I guess, supply and demand, I'm sure I'm going to be doing some kind of big U.S. tour, I hope. And eventually a worldwide tour. And I'm getting ready to do that all, So couple of weeks, the album comes out. There'll be the proof of what's going on and how it's going, and shit, who knows? Who knows? But I'm getting ready. I got all my gear together. I'm ready. I want to play live, and it's really a lot of fun being in a different position on stage and engaging the audience and looking at people right in their faces and cracking a joke or two and showing them the human side of myself. And I just think, we can only go up from here. And that's the plan. Just keep going up. I want to build a real fan base. I don't want to be a flash in the pan just on radio. I want to have real fans, really committed to the music and devoted to the whole sound and the entity of a pale horse named Death. So all we can do is like a house, build the foundation, build the walls, build the roof, and
And you have a pretty good foundation right now. As I said, I was analyzing the record, not just listening, because sometimes you listen to a record, like when you're here hanging out, you're listening to it. No, but I've heard it before tonight, and what it is, what I like about it has different components of what you have always represented musically. But then, as you said, it does feel like you finally had that exploration of your, whatever you were always kind of maybe holding back creatively. You just said, what, let's let it out and hope for the best.
I was holding back for many years, and again, I felt the only way I can express myself was to just be like, look, You know, I'm going to be selfish, and I'm going to do this record my way. I'm not going to listen to anybody else's bullshit. And I think if I do it like the way I see it, I will know the truth at the end of this whole thing, knowing that either I'm totally insane and crazy and I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm onto something and I'm going to rejuvenate and have maybe another 10 years of performing in front of people. And really, that's what it is. I'm trying to just continue because, you know, life is short. We get older. And, you know, it's a lot of competition. You got a lot of young bands trying to make it and get somewhere. And I felt that coming from the history that I come from, I couldn't do anything less than, you know, doing something great. And, you know, it's a tall order.
I think that was good pressure.
I went for it. Yeah, I went for it. And it was a great pressure. And I'm already working on ideas for the second album. I'm going to continue the same theme. I'm not going to be one of these bands that says, oh, we did so good with the first album. My second album, I'm going to change my style and be more. No, it's going to be the same theme. It's going to be the same ritual, the same kind of darkness, and the same kind of depression and stuff, you know?
And for anybody out there, before we get out of here, what is the message? I mean, we have kind of touched upon the message of a pale horse named Death, but, you know, as we were saying before, you're putting away, I think, and I agree completely with you that you definitely have, you know, of course, with respect to what you've done before, you're doing your own thing now, which is a beautiful thing. And you are at an age that you say, you know what, I don't have to prove anything to anybody. It's a natural progression. So if there's anybody out there who hasn't heard, and when the record comes out, obviously a lot of people are going to be like blown away. Why should they pick up this record? Why should they buy it and go to the shows and buy their merch instead of fucking stealing it from the internet?
Well, they should buy it because, A, you really want to get your hands on the artwork. There's a lot that we have to offer. A 20-page booklet. Every song has its own artwork, and you're not going to get that on iTunes. I think also the fact is that we put so much integrity into the music and the artwork and the concept that it's something that maybe a lot of bands don't do anymore. That, you know, this is, you know, goes back to the 70s, where you would buy this record and read all the lyrics and look at all the pictures and the storyline. It's like buying Pink Floyd The Wall. You can't just get the full scape of it on an MP3. You need to hear the full sound quality, which is nowhere near what MP3, you know, MP3 doesn't come close to the CD and vinyl quality. And all the little things that we orchestrated into the music, you really want to buy it because it's a complete package. You're selling yourself short if you just buy it on iTunes. You really want to look through all the pages. I dedicated a whole page to my friend Peter Steele. And, you know, you're supporting the musicians because every time you steal a song, you're just bringing an artist closer and closer to the end of giving up and quitting. Because we do have to pay bills and we do have families to support. And if we don't make money, we got to get a regular job. And then you're going to wonder why. Oh, why did they break up? Why did they stop playing? Why did they disappear? Well, because you stole our music. You steal our music. And we worked so hard. The recording process, the writing process, the amount of dedication, the amount of hours and hours and hours and hours of sitting in that room, mixing and mastering, and then in the end to just let some kid steal it is very insulting, and it just makes people want to like be quit. You know, like fuck you, I quit. You know, so you know you really I know people feel like, well, you know, screw the record companies, they charge too much for records and this and that, but you know, all these things cost a lot of money. It costs a lot of money for a record to be done and brought to you in your hands. So you're just killing the industry. And then one day, when there's just a bunch of shitty bands putting songs up on MySpace and iTunes, and you're like, how come no one's putting out a real CD or a real package or a real vinyl? Well,
that's the answer right there.
Stop fucking stealing it and start paying for it, because we work really hard, and our families and loved ones sacrifice a lot not having us around so we could be on tour or so we could be in the studio for 2 months writing a record. No, honey, I got no time for you because I'm working on this fucking mix today. And you know, relationships deteriorate over the process of making albums. So, you know, like, help us out a little bit, you know? Like, show us a little more appreciation. And don't be so fucking cheap, man, and spend the $15. People spend $5 on a Starbucks coffee. You can't buy a fucking CD? I mean, really, just, you know, I don't know if I can curse, but I've been cursing.
Yeah, no, but
I've been cursing. Sorry, Mom.
So I want to thank you very much. I want to wish you the best of luck because we are, as we said, in New York City, which is where we all souls. We have Muncie, who is like one of our brothers. We have Big Rob. We have Nick right here helping us with the camera right from Resolution 15. It's a family night here at Idle Hands, and you know it's something that I know from this moment on. When you go on the road, you're always gonna remember, like, oh, the night of the release, and you know that's always it's always a special time.
It all means something. It all means something. It's important. Guys like yourselves and myself keep this all going.
We're gonna keep the torch flying, as you said, for our little brothers we lost, like Dimebag, like P, like Hendrix.
Future of music, man. It's just
gotta keep going.
You got to keep going for the future of music, because 10 years from now, kids that are born now will look back on these records like how we look back at Black Sabbath. So,
that's right. That's right. For Horns of Brock's, Joe Shifton here with Sal Abruscato. Make sure you pick up the new brand new awesome debut album from a pale horse named Death. Because, I mean, it is not because he's right next to me. It's an awesome album, period. That's all I got to say. Thank you, Idle Hands, for having us here tonight. And, yeah, thank you also, John Freeman, for helping everybody come together. You know, he's one of those, another, like, badass in the industry. And we're going to sign off. We're going to go have a couple beers and keep partying. And I thank you, Sal.
Thank
gracias,
you,
gracias, gracias.
Gracias.